Hello and welcome to Grindslime TV with me, your host Aaron, and today we're getting dirty with it over in Brazil. Oh yes, we're talking about Rot and their compilation, Old Dirty Grindcores. Oh yes, Rot's a bit of a classic in the game, as I'm sure most of you probably know. Nice little old abandoned factory or something there on the front, I'm not entirely sure, but it's something. You get 65 tracks on this bad boy, with almost just as many minutes and just as many lineup changes. So it's nice and listed there. They're all like I said, it's a compilation. So it's got a load of stuff from like their first demo, some unreleased tracks, compilation appearances, um, like stuff from splits, that kind of thing. So you get a lot of the older flyers, and photos, and covers, and who knows what else. You get the liner notes and whatnot, which is interesting, very cool. And so yeah, all the details there. Got their baby photos as their band pics, which is always quite fun. Seen a few bands do that before, but it never gets old. It's always a bit funny. Now, this originally came out in 2002, and this is the 2014 Grindfather Productions reissue, which is always cool. Over here, we've got the nice sort of pea soup green thing going on. And these are particularly old and dirty grindcores, going from dates 91 up through till 2002. So very, very cool stuff where that's concerned. Really, really rough production on all these tracks. Like, a lot of them are rehearsal recordings and whatnot, and studio sessions. So that's always really fun, because you know how much I love that sort of sound. But honestly, with Rot, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into if you listen to like one of their songs. The rest of it's pretty much going to be in that vein. Very dirty sounding, very raw, very rough sort of production, bulldozer bass. Guitars sort of, they're fine, nothing against them, good playing. But they guitar tone changes throughout releases to quite a drastic extent sometimes, to the point where it's almost inaudible, but still sounds cool because it's just really buzzy, and that bass always backs it up really well. Marcelo's vocals on all these releases are really cool too. He's got a very sort of rough, sort of growly shout going on, like he's on 20 a day or something, which is always cool. And the songs themselves aren't just noise either. A lot of the time people sort of throw these guys into the sort of noisecore kind of bin, but I don't know. I've got nothing against noisecore. I love noisecore. Or noise. Sorry. Stuff like Unholy Grave, Last Days of Humanity, Sordo. All that ilk. But I wouldn't say these guys fit in there. They're too punky, I think, to really go in there. But they've still got those cool metal chugs and stuff going on. So very old school death grind. So I think if you collectively like stuff like the first couple albums from Napalm Death and Terrorizer, particularly the like very early sort of like demo era Terrorizer, Blood, of course, from Germany, great band. Particularly talk about their sort of early stuff as well, like first 4 albums or so. So the best kind of gear right there. That's kind of what you're getting into when you put Rot on. Agathocles, that sort of thing. Not mincecore by any stretch of the imagination, but very cool, very rough, very just has that cool south of the border kind of sound to it. Like other bands from Brazil, they all sound like they recorded their stuff in a garage. Well, this does exactly the same sort of thing. Really good fun. Great drumming throughout as well by Raphael. Just blasting away as he does, but really cool he does little fun beats as well, like street beats, D beats, all that kind of stuff going on. But really, really good fun. Very influential. Like, you can find releases by Rot all over the place. They've got a very extensive discography, like many of these grind bands from around this sort of time did. Your Nunslaughters, your Agathocles, Unholy Graves, Rot, and they've got between those four bands, without exaggerating, there's got to be like 1,200 releases. I mean, or maybe not that much. Maybe. I'd say approaching 1,000. Got to be. I mean, Nunslaughter have got over 300 out on their own, you know what I mean? So, but we're talking about rock, and that's who's getting the treatment today. And the only problem with this is that I wish it had the whole Prisoner of My Fear demo from '91, because that's a great demo. But let me just go grab it real quick, because if anything, just for the bloody artwork on the front, because it is yeah. Yeah, look at that. Proper old school, sort of Xerox style. Let's get a proper look at this. So you get a bunch of the songs from here. I think there's 2 lifted from this demo, and that are on there. This is again a Grindfather re-release, probably around the same time, I'd imagine. But very, very cool stuff. Bob Ross getting his fucking head rotted. So all very fun stuff there. But yeah, there's the artwork. You only get the 2 tracks off of here, Depression and Toxic Conclusion, I believe, are the tracks that come on here. But it would have been nice to have the whole lot on there, but I suppose you've got to make, oh yeah, space and stuff, yeah. Oh, fair enough, yeah, they couldn't fit it on there, but if it was a tape, like a C90, be able to, but it's what it is. So yeah, rock, old Dirty Grindcores. This is still available to get hold of in places. There's also a CD version of this which came out in 2002 from the original release. Definitely worth keeping an eye open for. If you like your old school grindcore, or you're looking to find more sort of stuff similar to those bands I mentioned earlier, and you haven't checked these guys out yet, they're worth your time. Go on YouTube, throw on this. You've got the whole thing up there, and just relax for an hour or so, just taking in those Brazilian sounds of grindcore. So that's it from me today. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Support the underground, particularly your local scene, and buy a record.